My first guest is well, he is a young legend. He's an American composer and performer who every one of you knows and whose music you've enjoyed. Will you welcome Stephen Stills? Stephen doesn't seem to be here, so as a substitute. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Stephen. There you are.
I'm sitting right here. What do you want?
Very unobtrusive. You're a very polite fellow. We were having a good conversation about. You are, at this very moment almost, catching a plane to Saratoga racetrack to perform, isn't that so?
Yes, gonna go scare some more racehorses.
Yes, you just had where was it, a Belmont Park or Aqueduct racetrack in New York?
At Belmont, yes, we made the sports pages.
The horses, they were complaining that the rock concerts were disturbing the horses. And this was a very unusual situation.
Well, I turned right down because I just won $700. I saw, pardon me.
Yeah, he asked the audience, would you please keep it quiet? And then they looked for quiet singers. They got Paul Simon to come in. When you go upon the land. No? You only did quiet tunes after that. Huh? What are you playing, a series of racetracks lately? Or do you play exclusively racetracks? Or?
I don't know what the deal is. They want my money. See, that way they can get me there and we have a sound check. Then I go to the races and it's all over.
I think it's possible you covered $700 then. Well, anyway, who wants to get into that sort of thing? You're playing exclusively racetracks, though, as I understand it. An occasional basketball court, but...
An occasional basketball court. I've been in the studio before, too.
This is a RCA studio.
Yes, I remember a very crazed Jefferson Airplane section here.
Really?
Yes.
Man. Well, go, yes. Crazy. Suddenly that, what's her name, Rona Barrett impulse in me, yes? What happened? Plenty of drugs, I bet. Anyway, moving very swiftly along this. If these walls could talk, they could bore our asses off, too. I mean, it's
true.
Not necessarily all fascinating. I know that something you did recently that fascinates me, and I'd like to hear about it, and that is a trip to Cuba. Here's this place, been isolated from us. We've had our differences, and tell us about it. I mean, first of all, how was the music received?
Well, it was, first of all, I was raised in Latin America, so my Spanish came back in about an hour.
Costa Rica, somebody told me that. Really not me.
And so I warmed up right away talking to the cab driver about his, he has a 1960 Ford Fairlane with a Fiat Abarth engine and a hand-built suspension system that just roared. And we're roaring down the...
Because they can't get parts, right?
Right.
Yeah, so they have old cars.
I mean, they get very ingenious with their car. They love their cars. It's like going to a car show, you know, because they're all in perfect mint condition and run beautifully. But the first night was kind of our guys and their guys, you know, a little bit of hostility, or not, you know, just kind of. And then the second night it started to warm up a little bit. Of course, they put weather report on first, complete with the smoke, and Jocko did his bass solo, and that kind of broke the ice there. And then I did a song that I'd written for the occasion called Cuba al Fin, and that went over very well. It was the first time that anybody got a standing ovation without mentioning Mr. Castro. And but then
did you feel the? I mean, I know they're loose people. I happen to like salsa music and old Cuban music too. But where did you feel the government? Where did you feel the grip, if you did?
At the airport.
It is a totalitarian state, you know.
At the airport.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Latin America.
Well, if you were coming into an airport, you'd get that anywhere from the looks of you. You look like a rock musician to me.
What are you, rock musician? What do you play? Zombie. No, Latin American airports are the worst. Anyway, and this is the worst of the worst. I mean, and there's 174 crazed jazz and rock musicians standing around in 100-degree heat, waiting to get into and go to the hotel. And it was austere to say the least. Right. But once we got past, they had one guy.
Like, how was the toilet paper? Real rough?
The funniest.
You can always tell a place.
What they had in the hotel? They had these little ashtrays made out of ceramic tanks.
Ceramic tanks?
Yes, and that was the ashtray. Besides your flag, it was really a riot. and then there's these Russian tourists plodding by. But I never really felt the government that, you know, I mean, everybody started to loosen up, and by the second day, it was crazy. I first felt the government when they all descended upon me, asking for the words to the song, signed copies.
Yeah, well, make sure they don't pirate it. You're entitled to your royalty then. You know, I can't help but...
I'd give it to them. You know, I kind of admired the place myself.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do too, because we were talking earlier, they feed the people and all the rest, but it's that Russian client relationship, you know.
well,
Nobody's perfect.
you got to remember that. I mean, well, where are they going to go for money? I mean, the Russians are putting $3 billion a year in there, and unless we break the embargo and he can do business someplace else, Dr. Castro really doesn't have much choice, and they dearly would love to break the embargo. I mean, they would love to have it lifted.
Were you guys well behaved down there and gave a good account of our land?
We drank 2,000. Within 5 days, we drank 2,000 mojitos, which is a drink of double shot of rum with some grapefruit juice and mint and grenadine and stuff in it, and 174 jazz musicians.
No wonder you like the place. What are you
Really?
kidding?
After the third day, nobody could say, "Dame un mojito." That was everybody knew how to say it.
You wouldn't even notice it.
Dame un mojito, man. Okay, dos mojitos.
You sound like you speak native Spanish. Costa Rica, I see these advertisements. The beaches of Nosara. It looks like a paradise on earth.
Is.
You know? Is it?
It is. There's nothing like it anywhere. I mean, it's prettier than Hawaii. It's prettier than any place.
Yeah.
And of course, we, you know, had a real nice guy down there by the name of Vesco who tried to have the national hero Don Figueres, Pepe Figueres, overthrown. That really held us in good stead.
Vesco, the fugitive. You mean?
Yeah, we
Come on in, Vesco. It's about time you came in. Pay your price, okay?
Right. We had the diplomatic falderall that's gone down in Latin America is really ludicrous when you look at the history.
Always has been, yeah.
Yeah, it's
guys
really,
with high hats with
I mean, no, it's
epaulets.
crazy. I don't know what they do. I don't know what they can be thinking about.
Well, doesn't it make you think, though, about this place? It's a delicate thing, a democracy, right? You feel good being in it, you know?
Yeah, we were glad to be home. That's for sure. We were all singing, "I love New York," and stuff, you know, waving our fists at the Russian, "Oh, I love New York." We ended up loading our own plane because the Cubans quit because it started to rain and we wanted to leave. So we got all the roadies together and a bunch of musicians, and then the Aeroflot plane had to leave, right? And so, but we took our positions on the trolley thing, which had broken, right? You know, the thing that sucks your bags in, and you don't know whether it's going to go to China or what. And so there was about 15 of us, and we had a line going, loading our plane. So we loaded the Aeroflot plane, you know, and get the bag, throw it about 12. This was for Bobby Orr. You know.
Good sports.
Yeah, right.
Break the Russian guy's camera. You ever see those guys? They can't even throw. We'll be back with more of this diplomatic folderol with Stephen Stills after this word from Budweiser. Stay tuned. Here you are, Stephen Stills, formerly or sometimes of Crosby, Stills, Nash. Crosby, Stills, Nash, Young, Stills, Crosby, Stills, Nash. Have you ever figured out with a computer what the permutations could be of combinations? Have any that has Stills and wait a minute, which one has, well, one of them.
Mathematics was never my forte. I hate mathematics, except counting the money. And that I only do when the government makes me.
I can believe that. What I really want to know is, I think that's interesting, is that, I mean, you've been in this creating music, American music, for a long time. You're, I guess, approximately my age or thereabouts, but you've grown up in the thing, sort of. And is it that you all maintain a pretty good relationship, and once in a while you play together with this guy or that guy? Is it that loose as it appears?
Yeah, it's that
How
loose.
are those things decided?
It's that loose, although I must say we were sitting on top of jillions of dollars in 1970, and David said it was no fun anymore. And I went screaming to Europe. Of course, Richard Nixon was president then, and that had something to do with it on my part. But
it's no fun anymore.
There was no fun anymore, right? No fun anymore. Raking in the dough, no fun anymore. So, but we were pretty altruistic those days, you know.
Well, altruistic?
I'm sorry, I misspoke myself.
Well, I think, no,
Altruistic.
altruistic.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, forgive me. Oh, I thought you meant auteur, like auteur Woody Allen. I learned that word last week, and I like to use it as much as I can.
Yes, new words are.
Speaking of auteurs, did you know that auteuristically, no, I know what you mean by that. And I know what he means by that, and I know what your feeling was too, because I think that's true of a lot of the musicians. A guy like Pete Townsend, who was sitting on this program a little while ago, who, I mean, you've seen a lot of money, you've gotten a certain amount of creative satisfaction. To keep it constantly interesting for yourself when it becomes a matter not of money. How about touring? I mean, does that
Well,
have a different
that's
face?
touring doesn't.
Is it an old friend touring?
It's an old friend, indeed. But I sure do love to get up there and play.
Mm-hmm.
But back to keeping it interesting, I did a piece a few weeks ago with Herbie Hancock and Willie Bobo that turned out just spectacular. And it's 18 minutes long, and I have no idea how I'm going to tell the record company, well, I'm not going to edit it.
Well, the single will be 16 minutes. They'll cut it down a little.
Right. And, or how to ask the radio stations to play it. But touring is, the discovery of the bus is actually what has made touring fun again. And the first prerequisite of being in a Stephen Stills band is that you must be able to play poker. And we have wonderful long drives, you know.
It's like the 40s. New Kid in the Sax section. Wow, wow, wow. Boss wants you to play poker, kid. Young little freckle face, acne rock
That's
musicians of 19 and 20 being taken for their money by him.
No, all of our people are over 30.
Is that a prerequisite too?
No, it's just an accident of what. Actually, it's a very, very good band, stomping good rock and roll band, and that's what I'm into these days. Is just going out there and playing. And
Thoroughfare Gap was released some months ago. That was the last one. Very horse. You're very big horse fancy. A lot of horses on the cover of Thoroughfare Gap.
yes, a lot of horses. The only one very large one that was.
Any
about to-
Budweiser Clydesdales in there?
No, they're too big to ride.
Boom, 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 boom. No, they're not too.
Had some trouble with the dog once. He had a thing about my leg.
The Budweiser dog? Oh, he wouldn't do that. That must have been the Miller High Life dog.
Gotcha.
You know that dog. Oh, that's wonderful to hear that you like it. You know that you enjoy it, because that's the only way we're going to get creativity out of you.
What's it for if you can't enjoy it?
Well, everybody else enjoys hearing it too, so it's a lovely combination, isn't it?
Because it somehow works rather keenly.
Listen, man, we've got a motorcycle escort arranged for you, and we're going to get you out to Kennedy just as fast as they can. Officer Duncan, are you here? Fine.
Are they
Hi,
going to
Mr.
chase me
Stills.
or...
They're going to wear those soft hats with the thing turned up and puttees like they do in 30s movies. All right, move over, you bozo. You were going 90. You know those guys?
Right. I remember the highway patrol.
Did you write Judy Blue Eyes?
Yes.
Judy Blue Eyes was here some weeks ago, too. It was written about Judy Canova, wasn't it, the comedian?
No, I'm not quite that old.
No, I'm just, it was written about Judy Collins. She was on the show. And that was one of my favorites. I think that might have been the first song I ever heard of yours, and I heard it on the Blood, Sweat, and Tears bus coming back from a gig in Albany. And Steve Katz gave me this Sony blaster with earphones.
Yeah.
He knows I love Baroque music. He put on some Vivaldi first, and then suddenly, you know, it was blasting into my brain. I love that. And it was a great honor and joy to talk to you here, and I wish you the best. I hope you keep on enjoying everything you put your mind to. Stephen Stills. Thanks a lot. We'll be right back.